This is Sybert signing into General Zero Hour on the map, Tournament City. So I guess this is the city of the tournament here in the center for a 6-player FFA. And you may already be realizing this is going to be a weird one. But let's kick off these players, and then I'll tell you the details. In the north, as the pink, this is FaSTiK. As the red, this is REDISKA? I don't know. Maybe they're a big fan of ska. Meanwhile, on the left side is the green, THEGAME. Always nice when people have the in their name. As the cyan, it's skill. As the purple, this is red. So that's also going to be fun. And in the south, our 6th player, as the yellow, this is StaZzz. All right, what are we talking about with this game? You may have already noticed over here on the left side, these guys have 50k starting resources. Everyone is playing Superweapon General, and it looks like everyone is getting to town quite quickly. So this was on the replay system over on Game Replays, and it was titled something like, All Superweapon General Auroras and Rangers Only. So this may literally be a game, an FFA, where you're only allowed to build Aurora bombers and Rangers, which is a pretty funny premise for an FFA. Like, FFAs can be absolutely nutso, but then also you just only have aircraft and, I guess, Rangers, which Rangers can capture buildings, so that's kind of the angle. But as you can see, everyone's still with like 20, 30k left in the bank. They've got their first supply centers going, but really everyone seems to be adding on 5 or 6 airfields, just going ham. And of course, with FFAs, there's kind of 2 ways that sometimes a free-for-all will go. There will either be one player who's just way better than everyone else, whether they get an advantage early on and hold on to it, or they're just a better player. What? Why? I think someone just disconnected from the game. I don't think there's a legit reason for REDISKA to have left the game, but this could potentially be a great thing for FaSTiK. It looks like FaSTiK going to be expanding quite quickly, dropping a supply center directly into their base. So whatever the case, they have an advantage if they're able to hold on to 2 bases in as compared to everyone else. But anyway, sometimes FFAs just turn into whoever gets the big advantage early on. And the bombing has already commenced with these Auroras coming in, cleaning out a couple of power plants to shut down that, or to slow down that production, rather. And wow, the game just coming in here with a ton of bombs right out of the gate. And it looks like perhaps on the green and purple side, on the left side of the map, there might be some bombing runs happening as well. Base defense is getting cleared up. StaZzz going to be striking back. We could be in one of those situations where one player almost gets bombed out of existence, but not quite. And that airfield actually survived. I'm not actually sure why it survived. It should be a one-hit kill, as you can see with most of these things. That Aurora just dying right in the air, and StaZzz has just about been bombed out of this world. Another supply center going down, but the Conyard, his command center, is getting leveled in just a couple of bombing runs. And man, even it looks like that splash damage is just ludicrous. StaZzz getting another bombing run off the ground. Over on the left side of the map, it looks like green and purple are going at it as well. 2 fresh Auroras getting eliminated. And meanwhile, on the left side, the game is just getting ravaged. But it looks like Red is managing for the current moment to keep his head above water. Whether that will continue to be true in the next few minutes, we shall see. A couple of bombers coming out here from FaSTiK, managing to land a couple of hits, and it looks like Skill is trying to take over some of this area in the top right corner as well. Still continuing to run more and more bombings against StaZzz. Another supply center eliminated. These two, StaZzz and Skill, just going at it quite crazily between the 2 of them. A lot of bombing runs just between the 2 of them. Spectre gunship coming across the map for its skill. Going to be targeting down a fresh airfield, getting healed up from an earlier bombing run with 2 Auroras on it, eliminated quite nicely there by the Spectre gunship. Meanwhile, FaSTiK making some pretty successful runs against the game, so the game could actually be getting hit from 2 angles at once. It looks like, yeah, Red is coming in here, double power plant eliminated, even another Spectre gunship. No, that one was exiting the map. Spectre gunship not quite able to take that over, and an airfield going to be getting captured potentially here. I guess if you bomb the Ranger, you're just going to be doing splash damage to your own airfield or your own strategy center, as you can see up here. Looks like pretty much everyone going for hold the line across the board. FaSTiK with more and more Auroras heading out. Going to be able to clean up more buildings, but it looks like some of these Rangers have successfully captured some of FaSTiK's structures. So losing your own strategy center, I guess you lose that bit of defense. Once again, StaZzz and Skill going at it pretty crazily, but Skill has changed tactics. He's going for the Rangers, utilizing whatever Rangers get left over from those buildings going down, and I think he's just going to go for a mass capture. And again, either way you slice it, you're either going to be blowing up your own buildings or you're going to be losing them to the capture. Skill going for the capture of 2 airfields at once. The Dozer is coming in to be the hero, and the Dozer gets the crush. A beautiful move there by that Dozer, and this airfield in the north may not be savable, as Skill may be able to get himself a lovely airfield, but it doesn't matter. As the Rangers get killed, the airfield goes down. StaZzz continuing to clean up more and more of Skill's base. Skill not able to establish the airfields fast enough, it seems. Skill doing some big damage to StaZzz early on, but StaZzz hitting back hard, and StaZzz actually kind of spreading out quite a bit, but rebuilding fast enough that Skill hasn't been able to wipe StaZzz off of the face of the map. More structures going down in the center. It looks like the game or FaSTiK pulled that bombing run out, and it looks like FaSTiK is the one who was bombing the game out of this game, I guess. FaSTiK with this split on these bases turning out pretty good as an option for him, bombing more of the center of the map. I think leveling another command center, it looks like. Fuel air bomb comes in, going to be able to potentially catch 2 airfields at once. The Dozer narrowly escaping. Meanwhile, Red continuing to bomb the game out of existence. Another supply center gets eliminated, and it looks like supply drop zones have been activated for most players, but the game is going for the mass capture, going to be trying to get the barracks to stop the reinforcements from coming in. Reinforcements getting paradropped in for FaSTiK to try and overwhelm the forces of the game to stop the takeover of his base, but the command center, the power plant, and maybe even this supply center might be getting taken. No, the Aurora comes in, sacrificing some of his own units perhaps, and reinforcements from FaSTiK gonna try and stop these captures from holding all of the structures. One power plant does get capped. It looks like Red has looked to the east and is starting to bomb StaZzz as well. Normally the geography of the map might come more into play, but honestly with how many bombings are going on, the geography doesn't matter nearly as much. The Dozer's coming in here, and it looks like Skill managed to grab a command center in the corner of the map away from StaZzz, and this airfield for the current moment will go up. Search and destroy being initiated somewhere in the north, and okay, so that's the range one. It's not the one that gives you a gun, and calling in a Spectre to stop the capture of the buildings. Being forced to use a Spectre on your own base, basically. As Skill trying to grab another supply center, steal it away from StaZzz, but the Dozer is coming in. The hero Dozer's protecting so many units. As Red, oh, those are just supply drop aircraft. Those aren't actually bombing aircraft. More infantry getting cleaned up. FaSTiK with his 2 bases might only have 1 base as the game continues to capture almost every single structure, at least put it under threat, forcing the sell-off of the airfield just with 2-3 Auroras on that airfield, and even the comm center gets taken over, the command center, just as the Dozer gets the crush. the game with the mass takeover of FaSTiK's base, but FaSTiK is still in this, albeit barely. Comes in with a big bombing run, cleans out his own command center to stop the game from taking it over. There's bombardment going to be coming up. The strategy center going to be used as a defensive weapon against these Rangers. And actually, it cleans up a decent number of Rangers all in one go. The Dozer going to be the second part of that defense. StaZzz, he's still in it, and it looks like its skill has been beaten pretty much back to the edge of his seat. He does not have much left in the game, as he may be our first player eliminated through combat, as FaSTiK is not there. And honestly, the game doesn't have a whole lot left if he's not able to capture a couple more structures. It looks like Red has pretty much bombed the game out of existence. Mass Chinooks over this, over some of these supply depots in the center of the map. The supply stash is there. StaZzz doing a pretty good job of hanging on to this game, just barely, after getting bombed nearly out of existence by both Red and its skill. More cargo planes, not actual units, traversing the map. The game may be losing his last critical structure, and that is it. The game has been eliminated. And then there were 4. Oh, big bombing run coming in for Red. Going to be able to clean up some of StaZzz's structures. And still trying to go for the capture of these buildings. This command center still under the control of Skill there in the corner of the map. The strategy center may also be utilized here. And the hero Dozer coming in for Skill to allow the capture of the building. The Rangers getting crushed by the Dozer. How unfortunate, as the... where's this bombing run going? Oh, he's trying to clean out something else of Skill's. Skill with only 3 grand left in the bank, trying to hold on to these supply centers. Will lose one and a Dozer as well. I imagine, oh, actually, no, there is a command center here, but its Skill doesn't have a whole lot left. It looks like he's got 2 command centers and a power plant, so not a whole lot else in this game for its Skill. He does have the strategy center down here. He's activated bombardment to potentially start bombing the command center of StaZzz. A little bit too close for comfort, and now he can just capture it for himself, maybe even sell it off, as a Spectre gunship coming in for StaZzz, once again being utilized sort of against his own structures. He's going to bomb his own strategy center out of existence after it got captured by its Skill. A whole bunch of Auroras coming in, cleaning up pretty much everything else that StaZzz has. StaZzz has managed to hold on to a little bit, going to be dropping a barracks and potentially capturing his own command center back from Skill. Looks like all of the supply centers have been cleaned up. No, there is still one over here. So also a power plant for StaZzz. So StaZzz still technically is in this game, but maybe not for very much longer, as Red bombs out that command center, but that was actually Skill's command center. So StaZzz is actually kind of okay with that, just based on the fact that he doesn't have to capture it. It's gone either way. The threat has been eliminated, and even the last Dozer here in the corner of the map for Skill gets cleaned up. More cargo planes. Red has a couple of Rangers in his base. Actually, he's got a ton of supply drop zones, it seems, but he's got Rangers as well coming in from FaSTiK all the way from the other side of the map. And the EMP Patriots and the Auroras are the only real defense. He doesn't have Rangers on standby, so he's going to be losing his own airfields potentially, either to the capture or potentially to the splash damage, as that airfield taking some pretty massive damage from the splash, as FaSTiK dealing damage with the Rangers, but not in a conventional way. Maybe even going to be cleaning up a couple of these power plants. Yeah, there goes the airfield, and... well, it looks like this Patriot might be able to target down that Ranger. Fuel air bomb coming through. It looks like it just bombed something of Skills. StaZzz with a bunch of Rangers is going to, well, lose a couple of them to the flashbangs, it looks like, but he should be able to overwhelm the forces of Skill. Skill turning out pretty good kills with that, with those flashbangs. How many Rangers actually survive? 5 Rangers survive, although the Dozer is going to make that a smaller and smaller number. 2 Dozers converging, trying desperately to clean up StaZzz, but it's not enough. And StaZzz gets into the building. The power plant might be the next target for StaZzz. A couple of spy drones hanging out over the base of StaZzz. Fuel air bomb coming in for Skill. So Skill starting to utilize his support powers actually against, that was either StaZzz or it was Skill. But either way, they're being utilized against Red. So Red getting targeted down. But Red is the one with the actual gigantic Air Force still in this base. Spectre gunship coming in, and it looks like 2 of them at once going to be targeting down an airfield. Cleans up 2 Aurora bombers there. So 2 players at once, FaSTiK and the yellow player StaZzz, joining together their forces to clean up an airfield and to really limit some of the bombing of Red. Red losing 2 airfields, it looks like, pretty quickly there. Maybe even some power plants also. A-10 Warthogs coming in. StaZzz continuing to bomb Red, although this is sort of like a combo. All of these support powers all being utilized against Red all at the same time. Although only 2 Warthogs have made it so far, will they get to their target? I don't know what they were going for. Looks like they were going for the power plants or something, but they get cleaned up either way. FaSTiK with his very far spread of airfields and supply centers. He does not have a concentrated base. So against aircraft, I guess no individual Patriots will be able to help him, but he does have a very spread out base, which I guess is pretty helpful in this particular case. Even going to be dropping a couple of supply drop zones way over here on the left side of the map. Dozer coming through, clearing out some Rangers, stopping the capture. And the Dozer actually gets killed, I think, by friendly fire there as FaSTiK. Wait, has everyone ganged up on Red? As Skill calls in his A-10 Warthog strike, I think everyone sort of realized that Red is the one to go for. As A-10 Warthogs coming in from multiple players, all against Red at the same time, who has sent out a huge column of Rangers to the middle of the map. He's going to try and just shut down the airfield with his machine guns and not even worry about trying to capture, as an Aurora comes in from FaSTiK and cleans out some of the Rangers, but not all of them. 2 more Auroras taking off, but they're actually heading further south as Rangers fly through the air and mass bombing runs from FaSTiK, cleaning up Dozers, cleaning up power plants, and it looks like supply drop zones as well. Another power plant goes down, enough to send Red into low power mode. All of those Patriot missiles that he's built over the course of this game coming to nothing as he loses that power, and Rangers getting dropped by FaSTiK in the back of the base of Red, and Red doesn't have a lot of forces here, although a Humvee getting constructed. Is that actually allowed? I thought it was Rangers and Auroras only, so it looks like a Humvee is being utilized in defense here to clean up the Rangers. I think Red, feeling the pressure from everyone attacking him at the same time, is utilizing Humvees and not just Rangers and Auroras. And of course, I mean, if you're the one guy building Humvees, then you're probably the guy who's going to win the game. I love concepts like this. Oh my gosh, this is so many Auroras. Bombardment, and the gun comes out. He's trying to once again defend against the infantry hordes of FaSTiK, it looks like. But FaSTiK, I think, gets the drop. And wait, whose bombardment is this? This is FaSTiK. He took it over. So he's now going to be bombing Red from inside of Red's own base. More supply drop zones coming in, it looks like. Just the helicopter, or the aircraft, rather. Another Spectre gunship coming in. This time it's from StaZzz, going to be targeting down the war factories. Like, you're not even supposed to have that building. And once again, it's a double Spectre gunship. 2 Spectres, one from a different player. One from each player coming in here. And its skill still in this game, but not like really in this game, keeping the command center around, but not much else. And that's so he can just utilize those support powers staying in the game. Red, on the other hand, trying to fight off 3 players at once, but Red has actually lost a significant number of airfields, and Red has $5 grand in the bank. A number of these supply drop zones could also be, these care packages, I guess, could also be picked up. Red sending out his own A-10 Warthog strike, perhaps to clean up this supply center and power plant, or he's going for something of FaSTiK's. It's a little bit beyond that. Power plants and the airfield, maybe? Yeah, he's going to get the airfield. Cleans that up nicely. No Auroras there, but a fuel air bomb coming in on 3 or 4 power plants all at once, and the A-10 Warthog's going for something else. It looks like 2 of them will make their target as Red is out of power. And going for the corner of the base, I guess they already cleaned up something else. Red coming back online just in a moment's notice as so many Auroras getting eliminated here. And Skill coming in with his own Spectre gunship to clean up yet another power plant. Red forced to rebuild so many power plants over the course of this game, unable to execute his own bombing runs. More A-10 Warthogs, more fuel air bombs coming in this time from Skill, as he's going to be cleaning up more power plants. It looks like no, he goes beyond that, and instead going for the command center, fuel air bomb, and an A-10 Warthog strike. Not enough to kill off the command center, but it gets close. Cleans up some other structures as well, and the fight of the Rangers. Red sending out his many Rangers from losing all of those structures, trying to capture or kill anything of his opponents. Another Aurora coming out for FaSTiK. It looks like FaSTiK still has a big group of circling Auroras in the north. This might just be the scouting Aurora. Another strategy center eliminated, and yeah, whole bunch of Auroras here in the north. They're splitting off into different groups for FaSTiK, sending 2 of them in. I don't know if he's trying to time it with that cargo plane as well. Cleans up the barracks, loses both of the Auroras. The power plants haven't been stopped just yet, as 2 more Auroras coming in. These sort of coordinated bombing runs, cleaning up the command center. And every time an Aurora comes in, it pretty much goes down. Another power plant, I think, getting eliminated. Not enough to send him into low power mode. There's actually, are there still supplies left somewhere on this map? I mean, I guess those helicopters are coming from somewhere. Oh, little supply stashes here in the north part of the map as more Auroras go out for actual bombing runs. Pretty much everyone else, other than FaSTiK, is just using support powers. Red is trying desperately to stick around in this game. Low power mode, but barely finishes 1 power plant. It's not enough, as there's another one on the way. And finally coming back into power mode just long enough to lose power once again and allow that Aurora to escape. Rangers coming in from StaZzz on the right side of Red's base. And of course, once Red gets eliminated from these 3 guys attacking him all at once, then I guess FaSTiK will actually be the most powerful player in this game. FaSTiK with his far spread of bases. He's got buildings all over the map, at least on the northern half of the map. But a bunch of infantry coming in for Red, our purple player, of course. A couple of power plants going to be getting taken over, so Red may be in permanent low power state. He's only got 1,200 credits, and he's about to potentially be losing 2 more power plants, which might send him into low power mode. Forced to sell off one of them in the north, and the other one, it will either be captured or sold off. And there's the sell-off. Red selling off structures to stop them from being captured, but it's just a domino that just keeps falling, or a string of dominoes. StaZzz has actually rebuilt a decent amount, but it looks like most of it is just supply drop zones. So eventually he's going to have a nice amount of cash to drop a bunch of airfields all at once and get a bunch of Auroras to potentially start running some bombing runs against FaSTiK, as it looks like StaZzz and FaSTiK are going to be really the only ones left in the game. Another command center coming up for Skill, this time there on the right edge of the map. And Red, who still has a powerful presence on the mini-map, is, I can't even remember the last time Aurora bombers left this guy's base. He's pretty much just been sending out Rangers. And these Chinooks over here never actually did anything. They're just hanging out. There's the mass scout coming out from Skill. And I guess this is what happens when 3 players are all trying to team up on you at once. Spectre gunship coming in, targeting down a couple of... Not targeting down the power plants, just shooting the ground. I think this is FaSTiK. Yeah, so Red has been defeated. FaSTiK keeping the Alliance alive. Or actually, no, that's Skill. So Skill deliberately stopped attacking the power plant and shot the ground rather than kill one of StaZzz's newly minted power plants. So StaZzz and FaSTiK, the only ones left in the game. Skill is technically still here, but ever since Red started getting triple teamed, it's just not the same. Don't you hate it when you call in an A-10 Warthog strike just at the wrong time, just before the enemy dies and everything that they have gets destroyed? So Red is out, the game is out, and REDISKA is out as well. StaZzz just bombing something out of existence with those A-10 Warthogs. Auroras coming out for FaSTiK, I guess coming back from a successful bombing run. And yeah, there's going to need to be some more airfields coming out from StaZzz if he wants to actually have consistent attacks. But every airfield, it looks like, is getting cleaned up. A lot of successful bombing runs coming out from FaSTiK, who's now trying to clean up the wide swath of buildings that were mostly captured by StaZzz over the last couple of minutes. A-10s and an Aurora here on the right side of the map. Bombing something or other. More and more of these supply drop zones getting cleaned up. Double Auroras just to make sure that they get cleaned up. This was definitely an exciting, like, first 15 minutes or something, but now it's getting a little more tedious. So this was a really fun concept. I love this idea that these guys came up with. I know other people have played similar concepts as well in the past. Again, these double Auroras, when they come in like that, the first one cleans it up, and then the second one just bombs nothing, but it's sort of like the security Aurora. You want to make sure that all that stuff gets bombed, and that you don't lose a bomber, and then it doesn't get cleaned up. FaSTiK pretty convincingly clearing almost everything out of the map. Also initiating Hold the Line, so I think his units take like 10% more. They get 10% more armor or something. And yeah, StaZzz trying to rebuild, but he doesn't have much to actually go out and strike against FaSTiK with. Although maybe he's coming in with a couple of bombers. Going for one airfield, gets the kill. The Aurora's in the sky, but another airfield with 2 on the deck and cleaning them up. And just like how Red lost all of his airfields in a couple of moments and then was never able to strike again, perhaps the hidden airfield in the corner, this sneaky airfield by StaZzz, is going to be the thing that saves him after all. FaSTiK may have actually lost most of his airfields again just in a matter of seconds. So Skill and StaZzz seem to be working together. They were mortal enemies in the beginning, but they seem to be working together now, and its skill is actually kind of distracting FaSTiK with these various buildings that keep getting placed. So I'm not sure if these guys are like actual friends or if they're on comms or whatever, but this is turning almost into like a its skill and StaZzz against all of the other players. So it's not quite an FFA in that sense, but that happens sometimes. You get informal alliances that are struck between players. Spectre gunship coming in here, cleaning up a barracks. Buildings getting captured. StaZzz going for the capture of FaSTiK's supply center there, forcing the sell-off of that supply drop zone. And finally going to be dealing with the command center in the corner, but he doesn't actually get the airfield, so the Aurora bombers can still fly out of there, and this may actually be a problem as StaZzz may be able to get a kill here while the Auroras are out doing nothing. No, he goes for the supply drop zone anyways, which means the airfield stays around at least for a moment. The power plant goes down, and the airfield survives the first bombing run. But there's more and more Auroras coming in every moment. Another supply drop zone gets eliminated, but one more bombing run for FaSTiK. I assume something's coming out, and FaSTiK may finally take... No, he's heading to the south. I don't know where he's going. FaSTiK keeping his Auroras in the air. A-10 Warthogs moving out. Rangers for skill, trying to take over some buildings here. And the A-10 Warthogs heading over into the corner, perhaps, for that supply drop zone. And the mass capture, StaZzz and Skill going for the capture of some of these buildings. I'm not sure what those A-10 Warthogs bombed, but the Auroras clean out one airfield. They don't clean out this one here on the right side of the map that still remains hidden, apparently. And FaSTiK going to be losing a bunch of these buildings in the second base. The airfield surviving for now. Another command center coming up for FaSTiK. More power plants either forced to sell off or they will be captured. This one by StaZzz. And StaZzz with this secret airfield on the right side has done so much damage to FaSTiK. He's going to bypass the airfield, skips that, goes for this airfield over here, and gets the command center as well, doing some damage, maybe even cleaning up a supply drop zone. As the mass Chinook army crosses the map once again, StaZzz takes the oil derrick, perhaps the only oil derrick left on the map, and Rangers coming out to the corners of the map for FaSTiK, looking for buildings that are unattended to capture or force the sell-off of. And in this way, FaSTiK and StaZzz both spread so far throughout this map with buildings in the various corners. And what started out as a fun FFA is growing into a pretty sprawling match. These players are actually going to have some real difficulty completely eliminating the other ones. Another airfield coming down, this time for StaZzz, trying to add on to his various airfields in this corner of the map. He's got a fresh command center after losing this one up here. A couple of Auroras heading out, cleaning up supply drop zones in the corner. The ones that were established against or in the base of the game previously. And it looks like FaSTiK lost all of his Rangers that were on the southern half of the map. The Dozer going for the crush of these last three Rangers. And once again, the Skill and StaZzz kind of joining forces against FaSTiK. StaZzz doing a really good job with this very consistent 2 Aurora hit squad as he sends them out on the map. That one cleaning up some Rangers, and this one heading out for perhaps an airfield or supply drop zone. Maybe this power plant over here gets the supply drop zone. 2 more Auroras perhaps heading out. So many triple vet Auroras in this game. 1 more buildings coming up for StaZzz. FaSTiK finding it difficult to actually get any successful bombing runs against FaSTiK. It's still going for the power plant. Gonna maybe... Nope, doesn't get the command center as all. Instead, goes only for the power plant and gets the Dozer as well. The Spectre gunship cleans up that airfield finally, and the Dozer as well. So there are maybe like 1 or 2 remaining active airfields for FaSTiK. This one just now coming online. Supply center gets eliminated. And yeah, I don't know that FaSTiK actually has any more active airfields. So it may literally just be coming down to bombing runs from StaZzz, and that's pretty much it. StaZzz about to be losing this command center. All of his Rangers are bunched up, so FaSTiK may actually get crushed here if a Dozer is in range. But he's going to be splitting them between 2 command centers, so he'll almost certainly get one of the command centers. Command center goes down, as does an Aurora bomber. And the mass capture is the thing to do. FaSTiK takes over that command center, and it looks like he'll force the sell-off of this one. So StaZzz getting the sell-off there. But another airfield coming up for StaZzz. I can't believe that this airfield went undetected and then unbombed for so long. FaSTiK trying to mount a comeback. All Chinooks down here in the south side of the map. And StaZzz, who sort of started his rebuild process with mass supply drop zones, has, I guess, been able to successfully come back with that strategy. Just mass supply drop zones. Gets the dozer, almost gets the barracks as well. And now he's going to get another airfield. FaSTiK cleaning up some of the structures of StaZzz, but I don't know that it'll be enough. StaZzz, again, so many successful bombing runs. Maybe finally FaSTiK will clean up that airfield, but maybe just goes for the power plant. No, the barracks is going to be the thing. He's trying to stop the Rangers. FaSTiK's taken over command center, gets targeted down by its skill. Once again, the combination support power usage of its skill and StaZzz. Truly a 2v1 kind of situation. As against Red previously, it was a 3v1 situation. So many Auroras. The bombing never stops with these guys. Spectre gunship targeting down another airfield. Aurora bomber just kind of watching from overhead. Another command center being established. Another airfield gets eliminated. FaSTiK with his Rangers trying to, again, mount some kind of a comeback, but not quite working out. The dozer actually survives that Aurora circling it for a while. This is definitely lasting a lot longer than I thought it was going to with a title like it had. I was like, all right, this should be a pretty wonky game, but fun action. It definitely was fun. Auroras coming out. Warthogs as well. Cleaning up two Auroras on the deck. And once again, the combo moves of skill and StaZzz devastating to FaSTiK. But FaSTiK has survived for so long, just barely holding on with his building captures, with a few bombing runs that he's been able to execute over the last couple of minutes. I guess the last like 20 minutes at this point. This left side of the map has mostly been cleaned up by StaZzz. Eventually, they should run out of money, but I guess it's not quite yet. A couple more power plants may be going down, and FaSTiK will be pretty much out of cash. Secret airfield in the corner. Still so many successful bombing runs. And dropping off a couple of Rangers, it looks like, as StaZzz is going to take back this oil derrick. FaSTiK is going to try and defend it. Drops another supply center in the middle of the map. And I think that's two different players going for the cap of the same oil derrick. It is. Instead of just killing the Rangers and then capturing the building, he's just going for the capture moments later. And apparently it disrupts. I'm not actually sure how a double capture works on this case, but I guess in the end it's FaSTiK's oil derrick. I'm actually kind of surprised that StaZzz doesn't just bomb that oil derrick out of existence. FaSTiK still with only $600 in the bank. No airfields, at least not for a while, and only a few structures left. Command center could be a way for him to get a little bit of cash. So many Rangers standing by, but none of them are doing anything as the Spectre gunship targets down the dozer. No, I guess not. He targets down nothing? I'm not sure. The dozer barely on the range there. And 3 Chinooks go down as this command center barely survives. Just barely manages to survive, and a mass capture from FaSTiK. FaSTiK was not able to... No, he was able to get that command center. The Rangers did not stop that command center from falling. And suddenly turning on his longtime ally. I'm not actually sure if one of those Auroras went down. No, it looks like they all survived. One of them went down at some point, though, because one of them is no longer, or 2 of them are no longer triple vet The command center survives under the control of FaSTiK, and I guess the alliance is broken. StaZzz. But now will this trigger skill to turn on StaZzz, and now StaZzz is going to get overwhelmed if he's fighting FaSTiK. Oh my gosh! He's going for the capture of the airfield, and he's got 3 Rangers here. Oh, the clutch! Splitting the Rangers to opposite sides, forcing the destruction of the airfield for sure. And StaZzz splits the Auroras out, cleans up a supply drop zone, and one Aurora, it looks like, might transfer to skill, and there you go. The other Auroras managed to escape over to this airfield in the middle of the map. A-10 Warthogs may actually catch them. One left. A-10 Warthog goes for the kill, and the Auroras, 2 of them it looks like went down. No, the last gets eliminated. Those A-10 Warthogs getting separated, and the airfield in the corner may finally go down. Yep, it gets eliminated by StaZzz's own hand. He backstabbed skill instead of just killing off FaSTiK and extending this game perhaps a little longer. The barracks goes down. The strategy center goes down. What does skill actually have keeping him in this game other than skill? It looks like a command center here on the left side of the map, as well as a supply drop zone. He's still got income. He's still got stuff spread throughout the map. So skill very close to being eliminated, but FaSTiK nor StaZzz have killed him off yet. And StaZzz could definitely kill him off, but he has to do it quick before these mass Rangers go for the kill. So many airfields have been cleaned up. Another one not going down just yet. There's the Aurora leaving for StaZzz, but you better be careful. Some of these buildings are about to get cleaned up, and no, he's going directly for FaSTiK instead of going for StaZzz's or for the skill's last remaining structures, giving skill an opportunity to capture more buildings, although not that one, as the dozer goes on the offensive, I think. And with 1 or maybe 2 airfields still remaining, StaZzz is our leader. It looks like it's going to be 3 airfields in just a moment, but this Ranger is going to try and change the course of the game. FaSTiK going for the capture? Maybe not. The Aurora continuing to make bombing runs against FaSTiK instead of cleaning up skill. Another supply center goes down. I'm not sure if that was to kill a Ranger or to kill the airfield. Either way, the dozer is going to be coming in for this one, and it looks like skill did take over that airfield, and then it got bombed out of existence. So Rangers getting dropped on top of the airfield. FaSTiK and skill now both attacking StaZzz, forcing the sell-off of some of these buildings, but there is a barracks here to potentially change things up, to actually produce Rangers directly, and one of the last remaining airfields of StaZzz gets sold off, and 2 Auroras go down on the deck. Mass Rangers showing up a moment too late for StaZzz. Another command center attempt by Skill, and Skill desperately trying to keep himself in this game. Every time there's a leader in this game, first Red, then FaSTiK, then StaZzz, they seem to be getting teamed by everyone else, and the result is usually that they just get wiped. Well, maybe not completely out, but they at least get dampered significantly. They get cut way down to what they used to be, and now I guess FaSTiK is like back to being the leader, especially if he's able to take over the supply drop zone, and then he'll have an additional supply drop zone under his control. I think he's maybe only got 1 or 2 left in the game at this point. Will he get it? He gets it, which means I think this command center, he might have 1 other building somewhere else. He may have captured something at some point. Does a in-construction building count? I guess if it's a command center, it does. And this guy is just sitting there, 65% complete. That pilot has been hanging out down in the bottom part of the map for like more than half the game, I think, at this point. The power plant will get targeted, perhaps the dozer as well. In a different game, killing those dozers would be a bit more devastating, I think. I'm not sure what those A-10 Warthogs bombed out of existence. I don't think there's anything else along their flight path. Another power plant coming up for StaZzz. trying to keep those things operational. FaSTiK coming in with perhaps a double kill of the supply drop zones. Yep, gets both of them. StaZzz still has 2.7 or 2.1 thousand credits. So, I don't know if he has any more supply drop zones. He may be actually out of cash. Barracks gets eliminated. Nicely done there by Skill to stop those Rangers from taking back their command center. As more Rangers get dropped off by these transports and potentially eliminate the Rangers of StaZzz. StaZzz coming desperately close to being eliminated himself. I'm not sure how many structures he has left. He's got this command center over here with not a lot of health, and then he maybe has a couple of more power plants spread throughout the map. That's actually FaSTiK's power plant, most likely taken over from StaZzz at some point. And StaZzz has the strategy center over there with the hold the line activated, and is dropping perhaps a power plant down in the southern edge of the map. Well, FaSTiK is still in this game, and it's pretty much just down to the Rangers. I do have to give credit to these guys for sticking to the rule set, other than when Red built those couple of Humvees, which were, I think, entirely in defense. Other than that, these guys have stuck to the Rangers and Aurora Bombers rule, although certainly a lot less Aurora Bombers in the last couple of minutes. Rangers loading up for StaZzz, which was originally his to begin with. The Rangers going for the mass cap, and Skill is actually in a pretty good spot, all things considered. I don't know if he has any actual Auroras out on the field, but he's taken over a lot of buildings, and he's sort of brought himself back up. Someone beaconing that there's a ton of cash in this corner. I think there was a hidden supply drop zone, perhaps here or over here. And the Chinook is potentially going to be dropping off some Rangers to collect all of this cash. They're going to fight over those supply drop zone crates. Not a great split of the Rangers. They all just sort of stuck them together. And the Rangers don't actually kill units fast enough for that to be an effective way of stopping someone from gathering those supplies. Looks like a power plant gets eliminated on the southern edge of the map. Skill managing to collect a good number of those resources. I think FaSTiK got the other ones. StaZzz has a lot of Rangers. He managed to grab this command center, so he's going to be able to call down the fuel air bomb, call in the Warthog as well on a lot of these structures of Skill. And he may get the command center. The Spectre gunship will finish it off, so there goes the command center. And these three structures may be all that's left. Nope, there is a supply center over there. So not so much these three structures. At least four structures here on the field for Skill. This airfield, I think, still hasn't actually produced anything as of yet. And I genuinely know, wow, we're passing like the 53rd minute. I'm not sure who is actually going to be coming out ahead in this game. Dozer in the corner for FaSTiK, but it's been seen by Skill, who's now going for the cap, and it looks like they're just going to be trading out who gets control of this building as StaZzz sends in a bunch of Rangers to take control of the building, and it looks like StaZzz is going to try and do the exact same thing that Skill was trying to do, and FaSTiK is like, I just want to keep my buildings. I'm not actually trying to hurt you guys. I just want to survive. FaSTiK still with that power plant in the middle of the map. Skill managing to sneak out that supply drop zone was definitely a great play by him. And it looks like StaZzz is the one who comes out ahead in this corner fight. FaSTiK forced to sell off 2 more structures. At least he gets a little bit of the cash back for those. He's still got a command center. FaSTiK still has a power plant as well. Maybe not a whole lot else. Well, there is some cash over here that he could collect. The supply center for its Skill recently under new management, I guess you could say. Not sure where that Ranger's going. StaZzz drops off a couple of Rangers, forces the sell-off of the airfield as well. And it looks like Skill is going to be able to defend this supply drop zone, although everything else will get eliminated by StaZzz or forced to sell off. So, Skill is still in this game somehow. I'm not sure what he's got. Oh my gosh, he's got a command center on the left side of the map. And that might be it. Command center here for StaZzz. And I guess technically they're all three still in the game. No Auroras for the last, what, 30 minutes or something? It's all just Rangers, Warthogs. FaSTiK dropping a command center on the left side of the map, not that far away from the command center of Skill. And I guess they all just have basically no Rangers left, just a lot of pilots. Although no, StaZzz still has a decent number of Rangers, but he's using them all defensively. Rangers getting dropped off. FaSTiK making a stand against the building of StaZzz. And that gets cleaned up, so StaZzz has something else, but he's going for the command center of FaSTiK with a bunch of Rangers on the left side of the map, and now he's going to be attacking the command center of Skill as well. So he cleans up one command center, and he doesn't quite get the other command center. StaZzz with the power plant. StaZzz has been defeated, and it comes down to Skill and FaSTiK. Not actually sure. I have been defeated, so I guess I'm out of the game, but these other two guys are still in this. And the command center getting targeted down by the Spectre gunship, but will it be enough? We all wait with bated breath. Skill has been defeated. FaSTiK is your victor, and we are finally done. That was a fun concept. Did it need to be an hour and 4 minutes long? I'm not sure about that. Perhaps Red or REDISKA were the ones who actually got out with the real win in this case. But that was a super fun concept, super great idea, and I just love that these guys did that. So I'd love to see more of these kind of bizarro concepts for FFAs. They're a ton of fun, at least for the first part. And that will do it for this video. Thank you all very much. If you made it this far, you probably didn't, but that will do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert, signing it out.